Greetings and salutations. I hope all is well, people. Let me just say this now. Like the video, subscribe, and hit the bell down so the Ghost of 30-month series does not get you. And alright, let's hop into this because I think this is a little bit interesting. I've been having this conversation behind closed doors to a certain degree. And we did speak about this in the episode where Haracha and Hansung you are having their fight, but I want to gauge your guys' opinion on this. So tell me how you feel about it in the comment section below, and I'm gonna give you what I feel about it. And then what I'm gonna do is, because I usually ask this as a community post, but I did also want to speak on it myself, so I'm gonna give you basically my thought process here. Then I'm going to read all the comments on stream, and then when I read it on stream, we'll have like a back and forth and see if anyone's has any like really interesting opinions. Did I change your mind on him? Did you change your mind on him? And we'll kind of dive into it. But is Hansung Yu a genius slash prodigy? Yes or no, and why? Let's talk about it. Y'all talking time just tick away. You ain't clocking hours on the day. All that watch is stopping what you claim. Dollar crosses real got me name. Hoping God just get me out this brain. Hansung Yu's an interesting character to me in the right that I feel like he's one of those characters on paper when you see about all the things he can do from Wansula to Anima to this and to that, and even his position. It's just like, and he's also with F.U.G. He's very smart, very crafty. I would argue his exam, the 5 minutes to open any door thing, is also a testament to his intelligence. I don't know if he designed that game himself. We've seen him come up with the Shinsu loop, infinite loop for Bam and things of that nature. Like, this dude is definitely gifted. I know he makes the kind of point about certain characters being blessed by Shinsu and things like that. But if he's not blessed by Shinsu and he's still able to do this and come up with these concepts and think outside the box like that, I think it's hard to say he's not extremely intelligent, because I would argue to point to a lot of characters who have displayed that level of like understanding and knowledge. Now, I would argue that probably Gustang would go circles around it, but Gustang also isn't a regular, so I don't want to use them really right now because I know they're special in different ways, and plus the rules of the tower don't apply to them. They're somewhat like Neo in the Matrix, if you can have multiple Neos running around, right? So it's harder to gauge that. But I remember like speaking a little bit with Simi and Vince and some other people. They're like, seeing what he did to defeat Haracha didn't impress them because they thought maybe he would do something that was tactically very brilliant. But I would argue, to me, he did enough. And Haracha isn't particularly bright that I don't even think Hansung Yu needed to really stress his brain to a high degree. As soon as he figured out what his beastification was doing in terms of shrinking and uncompressing, it was over. It was that simple. He just figured it out and he won. So like, I would say that he did display his intellect and combat prowess, but there was a point where I was kind of iffy on this. I think season 3 kind of reinstilled that into me, because I would argue that I was super unimpressed with with how he displayed himself. It was portrayal, I would say, during the last station. When Xian he out to wave that fan, he's like, "Oh, I'm dead." I'm like, "You about to die? This is gonna kill you!" Like, oh my, I was sick. All the lie to you, I was a little sick to my stomach. I said, "This, he's not that dude. This is not a Van Kel's like right hand, like so." But he's redeemed himself since that point, in my opinion. Don't have too much to say about the hidden floor version of him. It was interesting. It was a little different, but it was younger, a little more naive, so I understand there's more light in his eyes, if you will. He's probably seen a lot more since then, so that's all fine and dandy. But I appreciate the flashbacks with the Van Kel too, and how that also tied into what he said to Haracha. But listen, I care more so about the destruction of like the king and whatnot, and doing what F.U.G wants, in the sense that he believes in the cause of taking them down, because he kind of betrayed what he was, in a sense. And that tying back to him and the Van Kel talking, like, you guys have power, you're gifted, and this is what you're doing. Like, you can create tangible change. And then Haracha talking about, "You're a hypocrite. I can smell it. You're a hypocrite." And he's like, "Bro, you don't know me. Cut that out." And he's like, I'm not even acting like I'm a good person. Like, I do what I gotta do." So I will argue this, and I'll end it here, and then I want you guys' opinion on whether or not you believe or think that he is or is not a genius, or maybe if you're somewhere in the middle, explain why. If you're like, maybe you need to see more, maybe you're indifferent. I don't know, but I call it the acid black hole that he did to draw in all the Shinsu because he realized that like something to do with the way how much he weighed would make him not weigh more than the acid, so it'd be easy to draw him in. That was portrayed to me as a very high level technical ability in terms of the fact that he could even literally tangibly make that Shinsu black spear, if you will, not to like you know what I'm saying, like the acid version of it was impressive, and the fact that he was able to just be like, oh, you don't weigh more than I can't exactly remember exactly verbatim what he did, but like to make that calculation, the moment that you realize this person wasn't necessarily fast, they were like just kind of altering their size a bit, to me is a display of intellectual combat prowess and whatever you want to call that. So do I think so ultimately, do I think that he is a genius? If I add the parameters of somebody within the tower, so you're not an irregular in the sense that you have like crazy gifted talent and stuff like that, not that necessarily makes them geniuses, but that's how it's going to be looked at because they have so much latent potential. I would honestly lean to yes. So my answer is yes. I do think he's a genius. What do you think? Let me know in the comment section below.
In my drugs, pour it in my cup, sitting in my darkness with my ghouls, we pouring up. I don't really give a fuck, I don't really have a say. You tell me that I suck, I tell you get up out my face. You got tears in your eyes, looking like a fool.